No doubt the sky is still cloudy here in Cincinnati, Ohio, but they sure do look a lot better than they did last night. As we've got a suspended game to finish up here. Game 2, it's the Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds from beautiful Great American Ballpark. I'll take a look to last night to see exactly how we got to where we are here this afternoon. As it was Ramon Cabrera. What a time for your first big league home run in the second inning. That put the Cincinnati Reds on top. And then another unlikely source for a home run. Greg Garcia, his second of the year. They have both gone out to center field. Garcia ends up tying it up for the Cardinals. And then we move on to the 8th. Hoover on the mound for the Reds, facing Johnny Peralta. And a pretty innocent looking pop-up. Eugenio Suarez looking through the raindrops. Can't put the squeeze on it. And then the tarp came out. They've had a lot of rain delays over 24 hours here in Cincinnati, and it continued last night. The game finally suspended. Glad to have you with us here from Cincinnati, Ohio. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Tom Verducci. And Tom, when you take a look at the St. Louis Cardinals, this is a team that for a long, long time has been the best in baseball this season. We've basically, with Sharpie pen, marked them in as winning the Central, but they've lost 6 of their last 8. They're trying to get things back on the right track.
Man, have things changed in 1 week. They've gone from a team in cruise control to gripping that steering wheel with sweaty palms at 10 and 2 o'clock. 6.5 game lead only a week ago, and now down to 4. And with the worst case scenario today, possibly staring at 2.5 game lead. So there's a lot of urgency in the Cardinals season. And right now we resume in a tie game. But if the Reds can hold the tie in the top of the 8th, they have the advantage. They're the home team. They get to bat last. And in a tie game, they get to go to their closer in the top of the 9th, Aroldis Chapman.
We'll have about a 30-minute break between games. But first, we have to finish up Game 1, as we'll pick it up shortly here. Top of the 8th with a runner at first base. All tied up. Cardinals and the Reds, and it's coming up. Still hanging low here in Cincinnati. That has seemed to be a theme this season here for the Reds at home. As we take a look at our in-game box score from what happened last night, which carries over to today. Now the one change, Johnny Peralta is out of the ball game. He reached on the air by Suarez in the 8th, and Pete Kozma is running for Peralta at first base. So we will likely see Kozma at short when we go to the bottom of this 8th inning. And up on the mound, J.J. Hoover, the third pitcher in this game for the Reds. He is on to work to Yadier Molina.
Yeah, and Hoover is a guy who holds runners very well. Only one stolen base allowed. But Molina is a guy who loves to attack first pitches and loves to shoot the ball through the right side. Could have some action with first pitch right here.
This is an interesting situation for both managers. As you can see, Kozma running at first, and right away it looked that way. As both managers, Tom, they've got a night to sleep about on exactly what they want to do today. And this game, as we've talked about, very big for St. Louis.
Yeah, I joked with Mike Matheny. It's almost like in travel baseball, those California tiebreaker games. You start an inning with runners on base. Had a lot of time to think about this scenario.
Showing bunt and a strike.
Yeah, he was taken all the way right there. Just maybe have the infielders give up a little bit of range by defending a bunt, but Yadi only one sacrifice bunt all year. This is a swing situation.
And we saw the grounds crew out on the field early this morning, rolling up the tarp again. And this grounds crew has received a workout this year in Cincinnati. They have had over 24 hours of rain delays here at Great American Ballpark.
They may need some Tommy John surgeries. Forget the young pitchers. Keeping them close right here. This is a good action pitch from Molina and Matheny here. Again, we talked about Yadi's ability to hit the ball the other way on the ground. Nice count here. The guy who throws strikes in Hoover to start a runner on a hit and run.
There he goes. Down to second. Phillips covering. And Kozma out. Palms up. There's out number one.
Yeah, that's a nice recovery by Phillips. Not a great throw. The catch and tag to reach behind him on Kozma here. The pick and the ability to get the glove down. You catch a short hop like that, normally it's going to pick the glove up away from the ground. Watch how quickly he gets it back down. Just really nothing Yadi could do with that pitch from Hoover. It was bad enough to get a good result. See the little bit of delay, then want to see the replay, but Phillips got his man. And Yadi congratulating catcher on the throw right there, Cabrera.
And that really changes things here for the Cardinals. And Molina swings right through it, and blink your eyes, there are now 2 outs.
And you're absolutely right, Aaron. That run scoring chance really evaporated with 2 pitches, both out of the strike zone. One for the throw him out and one for the strikeout.
That brings in Brandon Moss. Still a relatively new face here in St. Louis for the Cardinals. Moss beginning the year with the Indians, hip problems, basically all of spring training. Really had his power sapped, and the good news for Moss from a rehab standpoint, he's finally recently been to a state where he can lift heavy with his legs once again, and that's something that he really attributed to losing some of the pop that he had last year, especially in the first half with the A's.
I just don't see that he has the same bat speed back yet. Really fighting it right now.
Moss ahead in the count as they put the shift on for him.
Yeah, and you notice with the shift, even throughout this account with no strikes, not defending the bunt at all with 2 strikes, bases empty.
Shatters the bat, and a foul ball. Snared there, almost shoelaces high, but on a hop. Votto at first base. Take a look at the Reds defense. You just saw Votto at first. Phillips happy to find here at second base. Eugenio Suarez, the former Tiger, at shortstop. Todd Frazier, who became a household name over the All-Star break. And speedy Billy Hamilton covers all kinds of ground at center field.
This is what I'm talking about with Moss's bat speed. This is 3-0. This is exactly what you're looking for. Fastball inner half. He gets it. and not quick enough. Gets jammed. That's a good indication that the timing is not there for Moss. I like the idea. 3-0. Go ahead, take a hack. A home run hitter, bases empty, 2 outs. Just not on time.
Well, some conversation with Brian Price. Pat Hoberg, the home plate umpire. Umpiring crews keeping their same locations, of course, as they had last night when this game was suspended. Full count on Moss, trying to snap an 0 for 19 skid.
You got to believe he's going to see that heater one more time here.
And he draws the walk with 2 outs. So Hoover a walk and a strikeout here in this 8th inning. That'll bring in Garcia. Garcia had the home run out to center field last night of the 4th to tie the game up. Did not homer even once this year. In extended playing time with AAA Memphis, he's homered twice in the big leagues with St. Louis. And both out to center field, the other one coming against the Cubs. Garcia swinging a pretty hot bat right now. 6 hits his last 11 at bats.
Not so sure I would be holding Brandon Moss on at first base right here. I'd probably play behind him on the hip pocket with the left-handed hitter up. Moss not going anywhere. I'm defending turf.
Hoover ahead 1-2. Broxton beginning to warm up in the bullpen for the Cardinals. Last night, John Lackey, a fantastic start. 2 runs, 7 innings, 10 punch-outs. Gets away from Cabrera, and Moss easily takes second.
He's attacked him a lot with breaking balls, starting with the first 2 pitches. Just really overthrows this one. You see the baseball on curveballs is going to break opposite of the spin of the baseball. Easy read for Moss to move up 90 feet.
Wild pitch makes it 2-2 and puts a runner in scoring position for the first time in this inning for the Cardinals. Garcia down on strikes. Hoover able to escape the wild pitch to put Moss at second. As we make our way on to the bottom of the 8th inning, it'll be Todd Frazier to lead things off for the Reds when we come back. as we move into the bottom of the 8th inning, finishing up the suspended game from last night. Cardinals and Reds all tied up 2 apiece. So Broxton taking over for John Lackey, who pitched very well last night. You can see the numbers on Broxton. Traded by Milwaukee to St. Louis at the deadline. And Pete Kozma, who pinch ran last night for Peralta, who reached on the air by Suarez. As expected, Kozma will stay in the game. And man, shortstop is Todd Frazier leads things off in the bottom of the 8th for the Reds.
And set up nicely for Broxton with the right-handed hitters with that mid-90s fastball and hard slider. That's how you have to pitch Todd Frazier. That slider down and away.
And right to the new man, if you can call him that, from last night. Kozma, a strong throw. 1 pitch and 1 out. Base is empty for Suarez. Eugenio Suarez, the former Tiger. Broxton, a guy that really has been moved around a lot in recent years. 3rd time in the last 4 years he's been dealt mid-season to a contender.
And this is why, Aaron, I thought the Reds had an advantage in a tie game in the 8th inning. They can go to their closer in the 9th. And that is Aroldis Chapman. And I talked to Brian Price about it. Yes, there's a possibility, depending on how many pitches he throws, he can use Chapman for 6 outs in this game.
He'd love to see him be efficient early. Up the middle and a base hit. A 2-strike hit for Suarez, who's aboard.
And not one of Broxton's better sliders right there to a guy who's been kind of a revelation offensively here. See how that slider doesn't have any bite to it. Just hangs on the outside part of the plate. And a nice job hitting it through the middle.
Go ahead run at first base for the Reds. Adam Duvall steps in 0 for 3.
That was a very similar slider as well. Has more of the horizontal movement than the vertical dip to it.
Almost turns into a slow cutter in some ways.
And that would not be by design. Cutter you'd like to have harder than 87, 88.
Clubbed high to right center. Hayward at the wall, and it's off the top of the wall and ping pongs into the seats for a home run. Duvall gives the Reds the lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Looked like Jason Hayward had a beat on this ball going back on it, just kept drifting on him. It's a ballpark that Andrew McCutchen of the Pirates calls the Great American Small Park. Just enough to get out of here.
Cabrera in play to Kozma. Both outs his way. We'll take a look at the home run again.
Well, we talked about the slider not having to bite. Duvall eating up the fastball right here from Broxton. Not a bad location. Nice lift on this ball, and you see Hayward's got his back against the wall where he can't really get any vertical jump right here. That's almost reminiscent of that the Todd Pratt home run in the division series between the Mets, where Finley goes back to the wall with the Diamondbacks, and you get your back against the wall and you can't leave the ground.
There's Brennan Bosch pinch hitting in the number 9 spot. It's really surprising to see from Hayward, such a mainstay in right field. That's one of the things that you learn early for an outfielder, especially when you think about infielders who make the conversion to outfield, playing the wall and not getting too close to the wall. That seems to be one of the first things that is taught. Garcia for out number 3, but damage has been done by the Reds. One big swing by Duvall, and it had just enough. And things setting up nicely for Brian Price. Chapman coming on to work the ninth. As we make our way to the ninth inning, and the Reds now have a 2-run lead, and here is the closer, Aroldis Chapman, on to work things in the ninth to get the final 3 outs of this one.
Well, Aaron, it's not often you can say that there's somebody in baseball who's completely different from everybody else, and that is Aroldis Chapman. Nobody throws the ball like Chapman. I'm talking about velocity. I'm talking about the extension in his delivery, the life on the baseball. There's really no equivalent when this guy has the baseball in his hands.
You can see the heat from Chapman. Pitches of at least 100 miles per hour, and Chapman has almost half of them in baseball.
It's amazing. You know, your really only chance against Chapman, and it sounds counterintuitive, is to make him get the ball down, not up. When the ball is belt high and above, you have absolutely no chance, because the ball holds its plane so much. That four-seam fastball spins so fast. But if you can get him to get the ball down, even at 100, 102, you have a shot.
Do you?
You know, the difficulty is trying to string together multiple hits against Chapman.
I'll face Tommy Pham pinch hitting here in the ninth. Batting for John Jay. You know, Tom, when you talk about the extension that Chapman gets, adding to the fastball at 100, then you start talking about the perceived velocity, which is even more so than what it gets clocked at, wouldn't it be?
Absolutely. You know, the average pitcher, if he's going to get that strike, he's going to be even tougher to hit. But the average pitcher, the stride length will be about 6 feet. For Chapman, he's out there about 7 feet. So it's almost as if they changed the rules, and he takes the rubber, they move it up a foot to 59 feet 6 inches.
And he's ahead 1-2.
And it's not just stride, it's release point as well. He really cuts the distance that the ball's in the air, and more importantly, the amount of time the baseball is in the air, shortening distance and velocity of pitch.
100 miles an hour, and there is out number 1.
No chance up there. here's we're talking about Chapman and his extension. You see him almost out there to 7 feet. And watch where he's going to let the ball go as well. The extension with the legs, yes, but the extension with the hand getting out in front. That allows him to keep the ball on plane. Those pitches where the hitter's going to say, like that last one, the ball had life, it jumped. Well, it doesn't jump, but it seems that way because it holds plane better than most normal mortal beings.
Mark Reynolds off the bench, batting in the pitcher spot. Ties him up at 98 for strike one.
That's just gets even more unfair. He unintentionally cut that ball at 98.
Chapman, an all-star each of the last 4 years. You look at the numbers this year for Chapman. He's at 29 saves entering this save opportunity here today in the 9th inning, and you wonder what his numbers would be like if he was given more save opportunities, but they just haven't been there this year for the Reds.
Well, you wonder too if he is a luxury for the Reds, given the state of the franchise right now, how difficult this division is, even going forward next year. I thought he was a guy they should have traded at the deadline this year.
And he gets Reynolds. Back-to-back strikeouts. We go back to Thursday, game one of the series. Phillips inside the box for the Reds. Hayward right out of his glove. Hayward, one of the best in right field. And then just moments ago, this was Duvall, and just off the top of the padding. Has not been an easy series in right field for Hayward, and right is now it is Matt Carpenter, the final hope today for St. Louis.
I really think that last home run drifted on Hayward. Looked like he got back in time, but you saw last minute kind of trying to make an adjustment. Ball carried very well opposite field.
Gets him waving 0-2.
You won't see Matt Carpenter take many swings like that. We've seen 2 sliders from Chapman.
And that is it. Chapman strikes out the side in order for save number 30 of the season. Tom, we didn't know how long game one would take. The answer is not very long.
And good news for Brian Price. I think that man's available for the second game as well. Very efficient.
Look at the last pitch here to Carpenter.
Yeah, after seeing 2 sliders, this one's going to come in at 101. It's going to look about 201. Nothing like it.
And with the Reds win, the Cardinals loss. Take the updated standings of the Central, and Tom, this is something that you hit on early. This could be a devastating day for the Cardinals if now they can't take game 2, or what would be game 3 of the series. Yeah,
that's 7 losses in the last 9. A lead was 6.5 games a week ago today. How quickly things have changed.
So that'll do it for us for now, but we're back in about 30 minutes on your local Fox affiliate.